I know what I'm going to do with these odds and ends. I'm going to make some recycled paper. Then I can use all the bits that are unusable now into one big sheet, and then it will be usable again for something else. To make paper at home, you don't actually need any special equipment. You just need a sort of deep tray, something where you can spread a cloth over the top and there's room for water to drip through underneath. Then you need some cloths that fit over that tray with a little bit extra so that you can pin it on. And then you're going to peg it on with clips. So you need some pegs or clips. And then you're going to need a bowl to fill with paper and some water. And all your scraps of paper are going to go in here and put water over the top. And then we're going to blend it with a hand blender. So you need a hand blender like this one. Now you need a grown-up to help you at the point where you use this because it's got a blade inside that's sharp. So just be careful with the hand blender. And then you're going to need some spare cloths, one of which you're going to use to soak out all the water from the paper. So see if you've got those things, and then we can make some paper together. So next we're going to get some water and we're going to put it into the paper to make it go all soft, and then I'm going to blend it with the blender. You need enough water to soak into the paper and create a bit of liquid. You need the mulch that we're going to make to be enough to move those particles of pulp around and give them room. Oh, look. That's interesting, there's some pink coming out. Can you see that's gone a bit pink? There must be some red in the ink that's on that paper. Right, I'm going to use the blender now, so this is an adults only moment. It does help if you put a tiniest smidge of dishwash, not too much, in. Can you see the pulp coming out? You want it runny enough to pour. It's not quite there yet, so I'm adding some more water. Let's have a bit of a stir. That's getting better. That will pour nicely. Well, that's interesting. Look at the two different colours. They're quite different, aren't they? The newspaper's gone really murky, but the white paper's gone pink. Well, that's going to make some fun paper. Next, I'm going to use my baking tray and I'm going to pin my cloth to it with some pegs. Do you see how I've pulled that tight? It's like a trampoline now. And that means that when I pour on all that mulch, the water's going to go through, but the paper fibres should get caught on the top, which is what we want. We want to get the water sort of strained out. Now it's going to get messy, so that's why I want to buy the sink. So I can pour it. Now wherever it lands is where the paper's going to be. So if you see any gappy bits, you need to pour a bit more over it. It needs to be quite thick. Look for any gappy bits, go over those bits again. I need to get the water out from underneath, so I'm going to tip it this way because I'm going to tip this end into the sink. And if I just release that one and tip towards that corner, can you see all that water pouring out? You can hear it. Eventually you'll get to a point where not much more is coming out, and this is when you need to take the clips off, let it sink to the bottom, and we're going to get the other cloth. Now once you've laid this down, don't move it. So lay it down. Now we're not going to move it again. We're going to soak up the water, but we're not going to go like this. We're going to just dab. So if I press down, you can see you get a kind of sandwich of cloth and then paper and then cloth again. And you need to squish out all that moisture, and we're pressing, physically pressing all the fibres back together. Squeeze out the cloth. This is what I'm doing it next to the sink. And go again. Dab, press, squeeze. Now at this point you can lift the whole thing up and peg it on the line to dry, and that will dry out into a really nice thick bit of paper. But I want to compress mine a bit more, so I'm going to make a sort of pile up of papers over here. Put down some newspaper, and then I'm going to really carefully pick up this paper so I don't dislodge anything, and lay it onto the newspaper like that, and then I can put that down and put heavy weights on it if I've got some, or just lean on it, which is what I'm going to do, and that will help some of the water to come out. Right, I'm going to make another one. Right, let's be a bit more experimental. I'm going in with some of the white paper pulp, and I'm going to do white, well, pink around the edges. And then I'm going to put some of the recycled newspaper in. Make a different colour, maybe a pattern. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some of these little red polka dots, dotty paper. Now this is the moment to put anything in that you like. If you've got some bits and pieces, you can put flowers, pressed flowers in it, you can put glitter in it if you've got some to use up before we all go over to environmentally friendly lives. Then you need to tip. I've got 3 layers of paper in here, 1, 2, 3, and in between each one there's a little bit of paper because I want to absorb as much moisture as I can out. So I'm just going to lean on it. And now they're ready to go on the line. I've got the paper in from the line. It's been drying all day. Let's have a look and see. You need to peel carefully. Ooh. It's definitely paper. Oh, look at that. All my red spots have just gone pink. Well, here's the grey and here's the white. They're not terribly different, really are. Now they've dried. They were a much different colour before they dried. And here's my spotty one. You can see the grey patches in it. I do like my spotty one. Well, I wonder what you're going to make on your Great Science Share Day. If you make some paper and you use it for something specific, do let us know. I'd love to see what you make. I used mine for angel wings once on a Christmas project, but what might you want to use it for? Have a brilliant day investigating paper. Have a brilliant day sharing your science. Have a brilliant Great Science Share. Bye!